This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Healthcare professionals can lead their careers with LinkedIn. Discover jobs by specialty, preferred shifts, and even desired salary. From mental health therapists to radiology technicians, it's now faster and easier for healthcare professionals to find the right fit. Learn more at linkedin.com/healthcare. Side effects may include faster job placement, improved work-life balance, and increased career satisfaction.
The Hilton sale is on. Now through September 29th, you can save up to 20% on stays this fall and beyond. Long weekends, last-minute getaways, holiday gatherings. There's a Hilton stay for all of them. More moments, more experiences, more destinations. Now 20% off for a limited time because it matters where you stay. Don't wait. Book by September 29th and save up to 20% at Hilton.com. Terms apply. Hilton for the stay.
Welcome to Worse Than You with Mo Fry-Pasek. I'm Mo, and every week I'm asking today's most captivating artists how they got their acts together. This show isn't about their best or most famous or most lucrative work. It's about the work that means the most to them, their creative process, and why they make their art. This week's guest is an actor and comedian from Los Angeles, California. You know her from her shows like Abbott Elementary, Good Trouble, Reboot, Atypical, Lucifer, Hacks, and Abby's Baby. Look at that list. And all the Dropout programs and films like Brie Larson's Unicorn Store. Please welcome to the pod, Kimia Behpoornia. Ready, set, show!
Thank you. So lovely to be here.
How are you doing, Kimia?
Pretty good. I'm excited to really think about what my process may be just by you asking me things.
I know! It's one of my favorite things because I like asking people who are less like list and I wake up and do this about it and more just like flow.
Oh, yeah.
And it's fun to break down.
Yeah, because I'm like sitting here being like, whoa, do I have answers? And then I'm certain once we start chatting, I'll be like, here's actually 100 answers. So that's pretty fascinating.
Well, already I like, because we're starting and I'm looking at your Zoom background, I believe that's an Almodovar poster you have.
Okay, so I do have to say, I have seen this movie, but this room that I'm in, this is my wife's office technically. So she has put all of this stuff. Like I cannot play guitar. She does that.
Guess what?
What?
Neither can I, but guess what's right here?
Oh, a guitar. Okay, hell yeah. So maybe
Yeah.
If you can't play, then I can't play, then we can both play. Oh my God.
The ground played it right then.
Wow. It's still like kind of going. Yeah, but so this like is all her stuff. So this I can't take credit for this being my creative visions at all.
Question though, so I mean, partnership to me, like our relationships are the basis for all of our process, the way we handle everything. Mm-hmm. And so does that relationship like inspire you creatively? So do you work together at all? Or is this like you are separate, beautiful entities weaving in and out?
We are actually working together right now on 2 things. And this is the first time we've like really intentionally for a real thingy been working together. Other than that, before this, it's just been separate. But of course, we inspire each other just like because we live together and we're sharing points of view that we absorb or we observe, and then that ends up in stuff we work on or like, yeah. So you're so right about love and creative process. Never thought about that.
Did you know that we are all connected?
Whoa.
But I would love for you to kind of jump listeners off with maybe a too long didn't read about a project that means something to you so we can dive more into just your process.
Yeah. The first thing that comes to mind is this short film I did like kind of right out of college. It's called Pop Rocks. And it was like a USC thesis film that I made that was written by Alyssa Lerner, who is now my best friend. But I met them on this project, and it was kind of crazy because, you know, it's like short films are a space to like, they're weird. Sometimes they're bad. You don't know. It's people working out their voice and their art or whatever, especially student
Yes.
ones. It was like a grad thesis. So you're like, and I feel like in grad school, people are like, I got it. I've nailed myself. I know what I'm doing. And you still haven't. You're still working through it. But like, that's the gravitas it comes with.
Oh, well, especially USC too, because like everyone is like, this is Boys in the Hood. Like, I'm John Singleton. This is my
Totally.
thesis. And guess what? And it's like, well, maybe, but maybe more likely.
Yes. And this comes to mind because it was the first time that I read something that was written like how I speak. It was like, oh, this writer matches with my pace, my vibe, like, and the things I talk about. It's like earnest, full of heart, a little off, like slightly awkward. There's jokes. It was queer, and it was like, whoa, how do you exist separate in this world in a different section of the art we make? And it matches so well. I felt like so seen in this writing. And it was so cool. And I've done like 2 other shorts with them ever since. They're my best bud. And it was like fun to see the system work, you know, like the cohesion of art, like meeting a twin soul in a way. Yeah.
Well, 100%. But is that something that you just like happened to audition for, or like, yeah, I really okay. I love this.
It was a happy accident. It was like my manager, who was okay. This was like a manager that I had that lived in Canada that I never met.
That sounds effective.
He was good though. It was strange. It like worked out. He's not my manager anymore because he went a little wild. But that's okay.
Because he doesn't exist. Yeah.
Right. So I know that's how it sounds, but no, because he got me this audition, so something happened.
Yeah, say that.
And
someone sent an email.
So, yeah, this fictional man. But I actually auditioned for like some other side role in the film, and it was like silly because I think on the other side, Alyssa recognized like, wait, just based on how this person is, their vibe, it actually need to be more paired up. So then I came back in to be like the lead of this little short. It's about like a high schooler who's in love with her best friend. You know this queer story. And then it's like, I'm gonna tell her
this queer story.
Yeah, it was that. So it was happy accident, just like a random audition I got sent that sent me my best friend.
It's happy accident. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, we were given the lottery and like we became roommates and now we're, you know, like have kids. It's that sort of thing. But I also love that without knowing you, that this person was able to see you, right? Like in an audition, be like, oh, this is who they are. This is the performance they need to be doing. And it's like, great, thank you. Yes, you see me before I explained myself, which is a very queer narrative.
Yes. Whoa, you're so right. That's so special. So that's sort of what first came to mind when you asked me that. So I was like, that's the first time it felt like magical to do art in that way.
I really love that. Because, well, curiously then, I'm wondering like in your life, because it says you grew up in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So like, is that, because I always think, especially with queerness and comedy, it's always like we do things through a lens to get close to the thing we actually want sometimes. And so like it's the perception of like, well, I could never have been an actor. I wasn't this. I could never have been a comedian. I was this. And it's all these identities. But I feel like that has to be interesting growing up in LA with such proximity to people being performers. And how did that work for you as like how you perceived yourself creatively?
Whoa, great question. Okay. Well, I grew up in Sherman Oaks, which is like the valley, which feels like maybe the most suburban version of Los Angeles, even though I guess all the studios are around there. But this is all to say, I didn't really think much of being near Hollywood growing up here. I'm first gen and my parents are like straight from Iran. So I was born here, but they both moved from there and they had no idea what the industry was like or like that acting is a job you should do. It's like, I'm sure you've heard this a million times. Our Persian parents want us to be doctors or lawyers. And that's what they thought.
100%.
Yeah. My mom was a bank
100%.
teller. My dad sold insurance. Like that's just what they did.
Persian specifically, my best friend's Persian and like her mom's from Iran. And it's like, it is so funny because the internalizing, even when it's like she's a successful comedy writer, but it's like she's still the best comedy writer in the world. You know what I mean? It's like she still had, and it's obviously not like a direct, like you have to be this, and it is loving, but it is like, there is expectation and it's beautiful, but it's like, whoa, that's a lot.
There's a lot. Oh yeah, I make this joke because there's this woman I found out that's an astronaut that's like a Persian woman in space, and I'm like, can't help but think of her mom being like, okay, so you went to space, okay, what else? And I'm like, oh my god, you just could never.
Heaven,
Stressful.
Oh, it is, and it's so, I don't know, it's like, you know, it is part of your point of view and part of what makes you creative and makes you laughing of things, but it is interesting when you're so close to this industry that is matching how you want to express yourself, and it doesn't feel possible to even like fathom.
Yeah. My parents were always like, you can be the president. And that's the thing that I most was like, no, I'm a,
Why?
what? My family's from Iran. I'm a woman.
You were logistically pushing back? That's so
I was
funny.
a little bit like, this is crazy. And I like didn't know it at the time, but I'm like, absolutely, I'm queer. This is like not gonna work out to be president. So that's what
Doesn't
they
seem
thought.
like they'd love it.
That's what they thought I could be. So maybe it was a lot easier to believe like, oh, I could be an actor. I can help people feel seen, like people that are like me that I don't see represented.
Yeah, in many ways, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
an Oscar's nothing. I'm supposed to go to space. Like, it's like, this is like,
I could do this. Sure. Seems easier.
yeah, that's actually easy.
Mm-hmm.
I do that sometimes with comedy where I like always wanted to act, and I was like, well, and then I'll say to people like, well, the easiest way was obviously becoming a stand-up and then doing improv. People are like, no, that's not. No, that's in fact harder.
Makes sense to you though, so I get it, because I was like, oh, I'm just following the fun. The easiest way is to just keep doing live shows with my friends, to do improv, to do sketch, and then that'll work out.
So you were able to do that? Was it like, I'm doing that like on the side as a fun thing while I also am studying to be this?
That's what my parents probably would have preferred. But so the trajectory is, I was so shy in elementary school. My dad signed me up for after school improv class, in like the 4th grade. And then I was like, wait, this is awesome. A bunch of people listen and laugh at the stuff I do by myself. I'm an only child too. So I'm just like, with me doing jokes to me because my parents are from Iran,
Just
so they're not
vibing.
getting it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, whoa, people that think this is funny and will play with me and do this together. Yeah. And then I was like, time to do theater. So 4th and 5th grade, I like did the plays. And then there's a performing arts middle school in Sherman Oaks, that used to be called Milliken, but I think now is called Louis Armstrong.
Weird shift to like a full first and last.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was around the time where we were taking names away from white guys who were bad for history and replacing it with
Happy. I don't know who Milliken was, but hate him. No problem.
Yeah.
I'm out.
So that's what happened there. Yeah, that school was a performing arts school. Now I guess aptly named after an artist.
Yeah, one of the greatest performers alive. Yeah.
Yes.
When they were alive.
Right. Has passed? Yes.
It has to.
Has to have. We'll look that up later.
I feel like we'd hear from Louis if he was alive.
You're so right. He would have been putting out new music here and there. Come on.
He would have dropped an EP or two.
Yeah, absolutely. We would have seen him at the
TikTok
Baked
sound.
Potato doing his jazz.
Absolutely.
When your investors, customers, and workers demand more from your business, make it happen with SAP. The AI-powered capabilities of SAP can help you streamline costs, connect with new suppliers, and manage payroll, even when your business is being pulled in different directions. To deliver a quality product at a fair price while paying your people what they're worth too, so your business can stay unfazed. Learn more at sap.com/uncertainty.
Switch to Shiseido Benefiance Wrinkle Smoothing Eye Cream and discover why people are calling it the best eye cream. A powerhouse formula that targets 5 types of eye area wrinkles. 96% of users saw reduced wrinkles and diminished dark circles after just 7 days. Shop Shiseido Benefiance Wrinkle Smoothing Eye Cream at Sephora and discover how change can happen in the blink of an eye. Consumer tested by 110 women.
What was I saying?
But the school.
Oh yeah, the school.
You went to the performing arts school. Okay.
I wanted to go there to do performing arts, and it was like 1 week into middle school. My dad came to school, like pulled me out of all my classes and was like, hey, actually, because the other thing I'm really good at is math. So he was like, they have a math academy here, math robotics. And actually I put you in that. And I was like, what?
I'm not joking. I just got chills. This is like a crazy twist in the story.
This is the twist.
What?
Yeah, he was like, I don't know about this. I think you should do something like tangible that I understand, which is math. And so for 6th and 7th grade, I was in math robotics. To my parents' credit, after 1 year in that program for 7th grade, they were like, okay, you can go to performing arts now since you tried that if you want. And I was like, no, I'm going to stay. I want to make more Lego robots.
Yeah. Yeah, fair. And also it's hard because that's a language that gets you like validation from the people you love the most.
You're so
it's like,
right.
of course I would love to be here. Like, which is fair. It's like, that sounds like any kid or any human.
Yeah. And we would do like Lego robot competitions, and they were like at Legoland. It was pretty cool. And there was a component of these competitions that was like, because every year had a theme. Like 1 year it was like the Mars rover. Another year it was like robots that'll help people with disabilities live their lives better or something. And this
is awesome.
It's cool. And there was like a presentation portion that you had to do. You had to like program the robot, but also come up with a fun creative presentation to explain what your class worked on.
This is where you should really shine.
This is what I was doing. And I was like, oh, I'm just kind of marrying 2 things I'm good at and hacking the system.
Yes.
But what I most want to do is the performing and writing a silly bit thing. So in 8th grade, I did go back to doing drama stuff. And then in high school, I just was doing the shows, the plays. And my parents, like, by the time I was going to go to college, were like, what are you going to do? And I was like, well, I get a math degree or I get a theater degree. When I graduate, either way, I'm like similarly have 0 job opportunities.
Yeah, literally.
So I'm going to do the fun one. And I just kept following the fun.
But socially, when you had to like jump from math academy back to like normal, was that like, and also it's hard because it's, already socially we're, masking as, first generation, queer, all these different things. But did that like almost like consciously affect you, or was it just like, okay, another thing?
To little me's credit, I feel like I was the same in all of these contexts. Like in my math academy classes, I was goofing the same way I would be if I was in performing arts. Just like the content of the class was different. And it was just like when I switched to the performing arts, I had more space to just be the little like freak that I was being in math, but with less like, hey, sit down, we have to like do a test.
Or like kids that like really didn't understand the social cues of a joke.
Or that's fair. I never thought about that.
100, and they're the best. I like my parents in that era. I feel like similarly, like I got sent to like not robotics school, but it was like a special IQ school. You had to test all this stuff. Where it's like I got pulled out of like Catholic school in the 4th grade to go to this one. And similar to you, I like had the space where I was like, oh, this rules. This is cool stuff. Like, is it me on a like is it like the most expressive? Not really, but you can find within those things. But it's so funny because I look back, because I went to public school for high school, but I look back on that time and the kids, it's like it's a very unique set of kids that you are surrounded with.
That's a great point. Yeah. So it was
You're really adapting.
I did find a pool of more like-minded people when I switched, I guess.
Yeah. And again, love them. All of them are incredible.
Of course. I mean, I chose to go back for a 2nd year. I was like, these are my people. They're fun. I get it.
This reminds me of, remember those segments on Disney when it was like Imagineers with Tom Morrow of Tomorrowland?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you were one of those kids. They built Lego robots, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh my God, that was awesome.
Wow.
That was like the best version of what I could have become. But that doesn't exist anymore, right? So.
Whoa. You're saying that like you're talking shop, like I know.
Hey, so the Imagineers, they're gone, right?
Yeah, but they did away with that, right? Yeah. In 92, they went away with that. It's like, okay.
AI designs rides now.
Not Tom Morrow.
That was not his name. Come on.
I know, imagine. But I don't know. I love this because it's like, you're saying like you're being yourself throughout all these contexts, and it's like still just finding within though, like the opportunities to be yourself.
Yeah. The most masking I did probably was of my queerness, which I was definitely not aware of because I wasn't thinking about it, because I was like, my parents are going to hate this. So let me just be like really good at school. Let me be really good at my hobbies. And like, if I'm the best at everything else, they'll forgive this one thing about me they probably will see as a negative. So that's my artistic trauma.
Well, it's so funny too, because I think when I want like any young queer folks listening also to remind themselves, it's like when we look back and everyone's talking about like, I knew this part, or even like I had, someone had trauma in the home and they like had a secret. It's not so conscious. It's not, I'm gay and I do this and I blah, 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 blah. And I think, it's like, no, it's that amorphous feeling of I just can't do this thing. And you can look back and say these are the reasons why, but it's the feeling that like, for better or for worse, guides you to the path of least resistance, to the ways you can until you get to a space that you're free to be yourself. And you hope everyone has that sooner. But it's so interesting how we navigate and then look back and you're like, damn, I was kind of a G. Like, how did I get through that?
Honestly, I'm like, whoa, I was a Jedi through so many conversations just to avoid certain topics. And I was like, whoa, I'm good at this. A skill I shouldn't have had.
Literally, and like you hone, but it's also an improv skill, right? It's like building a scene.
It is. I'm like, oh, if I say this, my parents will say this, this, and this. But if I say this, they'll say this, this, and this. So I'm like, okay, let's pick a path. And I'm just like writing in my head what these conversations are going to be like. So.
And extrapolating patterns.
Totally.
Ms. Math.
And I love patterns. I see them all over the place. Yes.
Obsessed with them. Yeah, absolutely. So throughout that, did you like see yourself creatively? Were you like, I'm an actor, or like, I'm just a goof, or like, how was that?
I knew definitely that I was a performer. I would call myself a goof, I think. I was doing tons of improv. Like, that was my favorite thing, to like speak from my point of view with my like whatever ideas, and then just have them be accepted. Like somebody be like, yeah, totally, and I'm gonna add to it. For a kid, that like,
it's literally called a gift,
is amazing. Yeah. Amazing. Also, me, who I was like at home, my parents were like, you weirdo, and I was like, yeah, I am the weirdo, sure. And then I'd go to do improv with my like middle school friends, and they'd be like, we're all the weirdo. You're not weird, actually. The thing you said is awesome. So nice. So validating.
Yeah.
And it really helped me because then we do shows and performances, like the plays or like the improv shows. My parents would come see them, and then they'd be like, I don't know what you're doing up there, but all the other parents would tell them,
look like you're having fun.
You look like you're having fun. And then all the other parents would be like, whoa, Kimia is so fun and funny, you should be so proud. And my parents would be like, oh, we should? We are. We are. So it was like nice.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Because then the community is like helping communicate for you almost.
Yes, because they could see me in a way my parents couldn't because of, their backgrounds and their where they came from and what they understand, right? And so it was nice to have other people be like, hey, what she's doing is like worth it. You guys should support that. And my parents were so open to hearing that and being like, wait, now I see that too. And they were always supportive of me wanting to do all of this art stuff. They were like, we don't get it, but you seem super confident in this. Other people are validating that maybe you're good at this. Go ahead. Sometimes I wish they didn't need the external community to help them get there, but I can't fault them for their capacity to like understand what I'm doing, so that's fine.
But it's also such a classic trope of like, even of like in friendship or relationships where it's like someone else comes and says, you're incredible. And then like the people around you are like, yeah, wait, they are. And you're like, are you only saying that because like you're worried someone else feels that way? It's like, I want you to say that and I believe you believe it, but I don't love the way we got there.
Yeah.
It's all grain of salt, and it's complicated when you're being affirmed as an artist and like a creator or something that is abstract.
Yeah.
That isn't like a quantifiable outcome.
Totally.
Hello, Nigel here. I couldn't help noticing that you're still awake. Now, I'm an owl, I'm supposed to be up at night, but you need your sleep. So if it's your allergy symptoms that are keeping you up, here's a word to the wise. Try Zysol. You see, Zysol works fast to relieve sneezing, runny nose, itchy watery eyes, and itchy nose and throat. And it keeps going strong for 24 hours, so you can get your sleep and wake up refreshed and ready for a productive day ahead. Be wise, all. Take Zysol at night. Use as directed. Starts working in 45 minutes.
Vitamin Water Zero Sugar has great taste, zero BS, and obviously zero sugar. For those with zero room in their calendar. Zero patience for slow walkers. Those who get 0 hours of sleep on a Saturday night. Have zero filter, zero given, and zero interest in grabbing a plain, boring water. Grab a delicious Vitamin Water Zero Sugar today.
I'm just curious how, like, because I think about your short film and how that felt, and like how getting to work on that and create with someone who saw you is also like, because improv is so quick and like unprecious in the best way, but then you're finding this like pure joy of creation in something that is a lot more permanent, or, you know, like almost worked on and vulnerable. And like, just like process wise, is that something that took time for you to allow yourself, or was it waiting till externally people found value in it?
Okay, another great question. What the hell? I think my answer is that I always felt very comfortable. The jump from doing improv to bringing other people's writing to life was easy. That's a 1-to-1 for me, where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just bringing myself to words that are on this paper. I can imagine the scenarios. It's like playing a scene from points of view, whatever, because I'm sharing myself a lot in improv. And spoiler, a lot of characters I play in film and TV are just like different shades of pieces of me. Like I'm no chameleon. Because I like to share myself to help other people feel seen in that way. So that was easy. And for a long time, I was like, this is what I'm made to do. I don't write. I just like other people write, and I help them say their thing if I'm the right vessel to like help with the art or whatever. So the hardest part of creative process has been like this year, actually, I've been like, okay, I can be intentional and I can write too. So that was hard.
What was that fire? Was it finally just like feeling safe or ready to, or was it just like, okay, it's time, I actually know I need to say this?
It was well, my wife's a writer and I help her on all of her stuff she's like working on. Like we chat ideas back and forth and whatever. I'm like her first line of defense before she turns stuff in and stuff. And she'd always be like, you know, you're pretty good at this. Like, you could be a writer. You're kind of writing by doing improv and this and that. And I like improv because I feel like, yeah, we're writing, but it's so low pressure because the audience is in this agreement with you that it's like, you just came up with this, so we're going to forgive whatever it is and be impressed no matter what because we're watching you work right in front of us. And this is why I tried stand up for one summer and I couldn't do it. So you're amazing.
Really?
For doing that. Because I would write stuff down and then go to do the bits and be like, why did I think this was something I wanted to say? like the time to reflect.
That's so but it's also to me such an improviser where it's like it's probably still funny, you're just not impressed, you know, like you're
Exactly.
like, why is that yeah.
Right. So I had to be like, it's okay. It's all a baby step process. Like I can write something down. It's okay to revise it. I don't have to throw it out right away because I'm judging it immediately. And that's been my year to try to get things down on a paper and go, okay, it's down. It's okay. I'm fine. I didn't die.
It slaps you in the face. It really does. It is like everybody, like God bless everyone working on therapy or whatever, but it's like make some fucking art and then realize that you're not making the thing you want to be making and have to confront all of those feelings. And like it is a perfect gauntlet of healing.
Yeah. I used, I don't know, probably, do people on this podcast talk about the artist way a lot?
People bring it up for sure. Yeah, I think. It's not you'd think it'd be more common, but it's not as common, but it is. It's. I always say it's a wonderful discipline that helps people that just need those parameters and routine.
I loved it. I started at the beginning of the year, and I was like, okay, fun, just a thing to do every week, something to meditate on, and try to feel better about being an artist in a writer sense.
Yes.
And it was nice. That book is so funny because it's from the 90s, and the beginning of the book, she's talking about like, hey, don't be afraid to be an artist. It won't make you gay if that's what you're afraid of. I was like, wait.
Just take that earring out of your left ear.
It basically says that. He's like, men are afraid to do this book because they think they'll turn gay.
It's literally, and like even the scroll font on the cover is like, it is like the most coffee house. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, don't turn gay and or be a Monica Lewinsky women. Like it's like, it's so 90s. It's so hell. Yes. Don't ask, don't tell.
Totally.
But again, it's tried and true. And to be fair, that is still so prevalent. It is the idea of gay or queerness is like other or not perceived as the norm.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that is why people are scared to do these things. Which, bummer.
Wow, bummer alert. Sorry, everyone.
Our identities are under threat. Bummer.
Whatever.
But the artist way I think is interesting. I always pushed against it in like a way where I appreciated it for its boundaries, but I'm a very literal processor. And so I felt a lot of resentment to like, you have to do these morning pages or whatever. And I was kind of like, it looks different for me. And so I always, like I come from sports, so I appreciate learning how to do the thing and discipline. But there was a period of time where people were kind of like, if you're not doing it that way, you're actually not committed to yourself and your art. And it's like, oh.
Okay,
No.
I see that. Okay. And now I'm feeling grateful for my own perspective and process because in all learning environments, I always just take what serves me. So maybe that's why the book worked for me because I didn't go like, oh, I have to do everything like this.
I love this. Oh, wait. Okay. So why do you think, is that just innate in you, or that you take what serves you? Or do you kind of have a key into why you do that?
It feels like it's innate, but if I had to think about it, it's probably just because I need to really understand something in my brain-body connection before I'm like, I can apply this. And I will only do what works or speaks to me because I've always felt like I'm very specific. So I knew that I can't just do somebody else's prescribed version of something, but I know other people who've been through stuff have really good advice. So this is why like, my most tangible example of this is like I loved improv so much. I took classes from like every school, every 101. Like I did Second City, IO, UCB, Groundlings. I even like in high school went to Chicago for 1 week to do an annoyance intensive because I loved McNapier's book.
Loved annoyance.
I was like, this rocks.
Yes.
And then I just pieced together what was fun about everybody's philosophy in that like felt good in my body. So I was like, okay, this is how I learn. And so when I now at 33 opened up The Artist's Way, I was like, this lady kind of crazy, but some of her stuff speaks to me. And that's what I'm going to take away.
I love
so
this.
That it was helpful.
Well, I love this. Also feel very similar to this when it comes to like my spirituality and my connection with like the universe or whatever. Because it's like, especially now, there's 800 billion people either telling you to like hail Zorg or whatever, or like, you know, like make a board or manifest this or blah, blah, blah. And I'm kind of like, oh, I think it comes back to like how you feel and like, and where your focus is. And like, I like pulling those and seeing the similarities of all those. And when I find the connectivity, that's when I feel excited because I go, oh, there's a through line. That must be something reliable within whatever I'm looking for. And I similarly like improv. I loved Annoyance, did Annoyance at UCB. I would take, you know, other like classes in New York. But I did have to really battle. And so I'm interested to how you process that with this idea that maybe I wasn't fully committed because there's this institutional idea where it's like you have to go full hog on something to get its benefit. But I didn't realize I had discernment. So I know there are people who don't have discernment and need to try that, but I wasn't able to value my own perspective in that way. And it's actually taken till about 30, and I'm 34 now, and it took till about 30 before I was like valuing that. And it took enough people telling me I was wrong to finally get angry enough. So yeah, how did you trust that? I really though. I'm like, that's incredible.
Wow. How did I don't know. Just kind of trusted. Maybe it's this very stubborn feeling that I had where I was like, I like to have fun. I want to always be having fun. If it doesn't feel fun, I don't want to do that. Because growing up, my parents were like, hey, you can't have fun all the time. By the way, when you grow up, you're going to have to do stuff you don't want to do that's not fun. And I think in my head, I was like, fuck off. I can have fun all the time if I want.
Yeah.
Watch me.
Yeah.
It'll work out.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, mentioning, I guess, specific to these improv situations where it's like I started doing short form where you're like big and silly and goofy. And then I was going into UCB where you just kind of like stand across from each other and you're like, who can make the smarter answer to what we're talking about? And I was like,
drag me for Phil.
well, but I was like, I can marry these two, but it can feel more fun.
Yes.
So I was like, let me get in my body and try to like pick apart game at the same time. And start right away like Annoyance does, or like have something right away, or slow roll it. It doesn't matter. But it was like, just because everyone in front of me is being like chill and standing and talking heads, I can come out and be a person doing whatever I was doing before, match it up.
Slapstick.
So it just was trusting myself to do the fun thing. That was good.
That's heaven. That's pure heaven. I think that's all anybody ever really needs, though. You know what I mean? It's like a single thing that you like, because there is so much, even with the artist way of like wanting to accomplish specific goals or get certain things. But I'm like, I think the thing to hold on to is the goal is to have a trust of those feelings, like a complete trust of something that's maybe abstract that you can't prove to others, but you can feel into it and rely on it.
Yes. Yeah, like even the artist way tasks at the end, I was like reading them and I was like, let me do the ones that I'm like, ooh, sounds fun to do. Like bake something this week, send 5 postcards to friends. I'm like, well, these are great.
I love that because, yeah, I think it's just so easy to have the intention to do something to grow and to have regiment, but then sort of a punishment cycle hinders what you'd benefit from it, of like, if I didn't send it, I'm a failure or whatever it is. Like I didn't do these things. And it's just so easy because everything's not just commodified, but everything is tied to our worth, you know, like when it comes to our creativity, it's so a part of us.
Yeah. This punishment cycle, I feel like I get into this spiral a lot in times when I didn't trust myself or I betrayed what I thought was the fun thing for the thing I thought I was supposed to do. And so that's the pattern I tried to avoid. Like I'm talking about this like it's a utopia, but a lot of time, like I'll get auditions and look at sides and be
it's
like,
a practice.
Yeah, I'll be like, they wanted a hot lady who's serious. Let me do my best serious hot lady. And then I turn that in and I go, what the fuck? Why didn't I just do me? I don't know.
Say that. And then you realize after, you're like, wait, shoot.
Yeah.
I had listened to all these voices on Instagram or whatever that say do this and this, or like, and it might not be that direct, but it's like, it's still not your voice. It's still not you doing a goof 'em up like you want it to.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, oh, darn it, they got me. But it's like, back on the horse the next day.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it is a practice. It is like, I always like the metaphor for healing. In Reiki, they taught it, but I think they use it everywhere, where it's like healing isn't linear. It's a spiral, but it's 3-dimensional, meaning every time you go around the circle, you get deeper. So it's like almost like a coil going down and smaller. And I just appreciate that, because so many times you feel like, why am I revisiting this? I already dealt with it. It's like, well,
Yeah.
you're just dealing with it deeper. Like, that's how it's coming up. And that's why cycles ebb and flow.
Wow, I love that, because I revisit these spirals, but before, when I like feel them about to happen, I try to control not doing it, because I'm like, doesn't feel good to be in the spiral. Don't want to do this
Been here
again.
before. Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa, but so validating what you said. I'm gonna remember this coil and be like, that's nice. I do learn something new every time I go in there, so it's not bad at all.
Yes. And it was validating for me to hear too, because it made me, one, just like appreciate it from being like, oh yeah, life is cycles, and of course things are repeated. If it's the same thing and I'm on the same level and I know I'm not, then I must be learning something. And this just must be like how I face things differently, deeper, more intimately, right? The smaller it gets. And so, yeah, I do think, especially as artists, it's so easy to like just judge or be like, is this the right way?
Yeah.
And baby, it's the artist's way.
Hey, look at that.
This was an ad. This whole time I've been paid by Julie, whatever her name is.
Cameron.
Julie Cameron, there we go. That is also, can I say, such a good 90s name. Like, it
Great
just is.
90s name. Honestly, you're so
Yeah.
right. Yes.
I'm like, oh, Julie Cameron.
Yeah.
Oh, good for her. Well, this is exciting. Are you going to be acting in the projects that you're working on writing right now?
That is the intention. Yeah, I roped my wife into working on both of these with me, because I appreciate that like writing is her title job, and she will have the structure where I can just come in and be like, let me be fun until I figure out how to be more intentional, like you know? So we're writing, yeah, we're writing stuff that I would hopefully be in also. Yeah.
That's so exciting. I wrote something for myself last year, and it was like the first time where it was like, because I'm so used to improv or whatever, like, and I wrote it, it was kind of like, well, I can fudge it. And it's like, no, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you commit to what the writer did? And I like separate myself as an actor versus a writer. And I was like, why'd they write it like that?
Oh my
It's me.
God. You're so right. Because right now we're like writing stuff down, and I'm like, yeah, but you can't control what I say on the day if we shoot this. I'm like, no, I have to say what we wrote.
Yes. And it's like, well, why don't I just write it as I would improv it? Like, it's like,
Can't.
it is such a dance of identities. And then it's so funny because then it's like in your head, you're a writer being like, I can't work with this actor. And it's you and you and you.
I know. Oh.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited to see this. I'm excited for
cool.
the intimacy this will build in your relationship.
Yeah, great.
Well, we are nearing my end segment, and I like to give us some time for it because it's a more abstract segment, and I
Okay.
really love it because people always come with completely different answers. But the segment is called Thank You for Holding My Poems, and it is based on the Russian poet Anna Akhmatova, who during the Great Terror in Russia, when it was illegal to publish poems of resistance, her and her other creative cohorts came up with a system. And they memorized edits of each other's writing, like truly memorized different poems, different first drafts. And I am always so moved when I think of that, because what a vulnerable act to be witnessed completely in process, raw, like artistic, and to be literally to have your poems held by the people around you. And so to me, as artists, that's the greatest thing we can do for each other. And I think of a poem when I ask someone to meditate on bringing one to us, or a time they felt that in their life. I think of a poem as like a day that you were feeling your worst and a barista gave you a compliment that made you feel like you were on the planet. Or a short film that you made that made you feel like legitimate and like you were contributing. And so it's a very abstract answer of like, as an artist, what a poem was to you, but it's a grounding, validating moment where you just feel kind of present and held. And so anything, I always say it's like Juliette Binoche Chocolat, where I'm like, anything that comes up. Like,
whoa, how dare you bring up my favorite movie?
The way we be referencing that on this spot, yeah, don't you worry. You're in good hands.
Whoa, hell yeah.
Because she's seeing into the plate, that Mayan plate. She's seeing the feeling. And the poem is an abstract feeling.
Wow. Okay. I don't know. Because it feels like my first answer was a bit of a poem.
That's great. We've had literal poems too.
Or no, I just mean like talking about that
sorry.
short.
No, can I tell you that for when you were talking, I was going, this is a poem.
That's a poem.
Yeah, it is very much so. Yes, that is very much so a poem.
That is when I felt that way. Let's think of another one. Well, here's what I think this idea of poem feels like. Sometimes there'll be a lot of synchronicity in certain moments of life where you see the same pattern in the same moment. And my wife will always say, like, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of now. Like, there was a time in my life where I think it was like in 2018, like everything I worked on either had similar character names in it or a person connecting all the projects, or just like, yeah, topics in the world that were relating to maybe like the shows I was doing. And I was like, wait, this is so crazy. Like 2 Abbeys, like a bunch of bar stuff, like, I don't know, this person's showing up again. And it's like, okay, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You're like being led.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's nice.
Those moments to me where it's like, I think people can so easily diminish them or minimize them or think of it as like woo-woo. But it simply is just a reminder that like there is moments of design outside of us, moments of trusting that something is at play. Even if you don't believe in God or spirituality, there's the unknown, there's physics, there's space and time of like alignments that, and I think synchronicities are such a reminder of that, of wonder.
Yeah.
And they're my favorite things in the world. I think it's the most special stuff. Like even just like seeing an owl when like owls were like your grandparent or something, like whatever that stuff is.
Yes. And I do this thing now. I do the Jim Carrey check thing. Do you know this thing that he talked about?
Oh, do you? Yes. Will you tell my listeners about writing it just so they know like the
yes. So Jim Carrey did this thing where he was like, I want to be a very successful movie star and I'm going to be valued at X amount. And so he took out a check and wrote like an amount of money on it and then to himself like for that year. And I was like, wait, fun, kind of weird manifesting synchronicity thing. Yeah. And I do it now. This is like the second year I've done it, but last year it was crazy because I just on New Year's Eve wrote it, put it in my wallet, whatever. I carried it around. And I was like, I did this pilot last year and I took out the check and I was like, whoa, I wrote like episode 1 on this check and a chunk of money. And that was exactly what I got for that.
I just got chills.
Crazy.
I got chills. And to me, like, because one of my favorite things is like quantum physics and like the dumbest way of like just the pastime of like, reading, Max Born, like all these dumb shit. But I like in quite a trying not to be like a biohacker, like tech bro. I'm like, it's real though. Like you're like in a quantum level, like you're acting as if you're living as if like that you're creating something. Just the same way someone who believes that they can be a good swimmer practices and lives like they're a good swimmer, they become a good swimmer. Totally. Like it's so simple. And I adore when people just treat it as very grounded and real because it's not some crazy miracle. It's of course it is a feeling, but it's like, of course, that's so special. It's awesome.
Cool. And it costs me nothing, right? Because if it is woo-woo and it's worth nothing, like then nothing happens. But if it is something, what? It's fun to hang on to.
Yeah. You just have fun. And that's worth.
Okay, so last year, it said episode 1 on the check last year. So this New Year's Eve, I was like, hang on, I'm going to I'm going to aim higher because that pilot didn't go. And I was
Say
like,
that.
it's because of my check. I just wrote one episode. So I must now write a season.
You ruined the whole production. Yeah.
So this year's check is for a season of something. We'll see what happens.
That's incredible, though. That's perfect. I love that.
Thanks.
Because why it was like such a to me that's such like a practical adjustment where you're like, oh, great, like thanks for the info. I want it more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I love that's inspiring me. I'm gonna go work on stuff like that. That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, Kimia, this has been so lovely. Can you tell my listeners where they can listen or hear or give you a hug or not give you a hug or whatever you want?
I'm a hugger. Hug me. But you can find me on Instagram at childclown. And then if I'm doing shows and stuff, I'll usually mention that there. But that's where you can find me.
That's beautiful. And I end every episode by giving my listeners and you a compliment, the same compliment, but I mean it different every time from the bottom of my heart. And I say, please know I don't think of adjectives as gendered, but oh my God, you're so pretty.
Oh, thank you.
You are. This was so heavenly. Thank you. Worse Than You with Mo Fry-Pasek is hosted by me, Mo Fry-Pasek. You can learn more about this week's guest and the Worse Than You team by checking out the show and episode copy. Worse Than You with Mo Fry-Pasek is executive produced by Erica Ghetto, Mariah Gossett, and Lauren Mandel for Good Get and Disco Nap Productions. Oh my God, you're so pretty. I feel like we'd hear from Louis if he was
You're so right. He would have been putting out new music here and there. Come on.